How many years are we going to listen to her say she's vindicated, she's victorious, she's validated? Oh my, you don't get a goddamn dictionary, somebody, please.
I made it nice.
Going with the win, fabulous.
That's my opinion.
Rachel, okay, so 2 episodes in, a lot has already gone down. How are you feeling so far?
I feel great. I think I am very grounded and centered on what is important to me, and that's my family. And I always keep that in perspective. So
we see that the cast is divided yet again. How was filming? How was dealing with that, knowing that some people weren't filming with each other? That couldn't have been easy.
To be honest with you, it wasn't as challenging as I think it sounds, because it was pretty clear going into the season, like who wasn't going to be around who. So once those circumstances were set, it was all just kind of like, well, obviously I'm not going to be invited to that event. Like we all kind of like knew, but I just think it was a little challenging in the sense of like, there was a lot of like missing puzzle pieces to stories that like we had to fill each other in on. And that can always make things a little bit more complicated and hairy.
Totally.
Because it's like a game of telephone, you know what I mean? So missing one event and then getting the story from someone else, it's like, what did you leave out? What did you fabricate? What did you underfabricate? What else do I need to know?
That adds a whole nother layer to it.
Because it really does.
It makes it honestly a lot more complicated and maybe dramatic. But you know, there's obviously Housewife fans, but the fans of New Jersey really go hard, right? Especially on social media, and they love to pick sides. But I want to know, Rachel, on your side of things, why do you think you are on the right side?
I have always been true to who I am, and I gravitate towards certain type of people. And those people just happen to be on the correct side of the couch. So these are more level-headed, like-minded, more kind-hearted people. I am not an evil-spirited, mean, manipulative person. So I don't gravitate towards those people.
So I want to talk about Jen, your very close friends with Jen. And we saw in the past episode that, you know, she did have a conversation with Teresa. It seems like they're going to buddy up a little bit. Your take on that? I can't imagine that was great seeing it.
It's not, and I really want to make this so clear, that it's not Jen's relationship with Teresa or anyone that, let's say Margaret and I didn't get along. It's not that relationship. It's you say and do two different things. You say you don't want to be around these people and that you don't want to associate with them, and then you do the exact opposite. So don't tell me something to appease me and then do something else. Does that make sense? So if we were living in a world where Jen said to me, said to me, right? Because in her confessionals, like I've never heard those words. It's like, I really like Teresa. I want to get to know her. She seems like a great person. That's fine. Like, don't talk about me to her. Keep my stuff out of it. Like, our relationship is separate from hers. Sure. That's not the case. It's just not the case, which is why it's so upsetting to me.
So then how does this affect your relationship with Jen?
It changes everything. My relationship with her has completely shifted. We got together in January, a bunch of the girls. We all went out for like a holiday dinner together, and we haven't spoken since.
Wow. So what do you think Jen is then trying to do buddying up to Teresa? Because I know in her confessional, she's like, look, I'm not trying to appease anyone. I just like Teresa. Or do you think she's trying to play both sides?
I think she's scared. And I think that even the things that she had said about like believing Teresa because she swore on her daughters is so disappointing to me, because as someone who became a part of this group because of Margaret, like, no, just no. So I don't know what she's trying to do. I don't know if it's for airtime, if it's for clout, if she really just loves her and we were the ones that were lied to the whole time. Like, I don't know what the truth is. And to be quite frank, I don't really care. I'm good. Like, I have my friends, I have my family. They can live happily ever after. If that's the kind of friend that she is, then I don't really want it anyway.
I do also want to talk about a new friend that you have this season, Danielle. You know, we saw you guys kind of have the back and forth last season. Now, this season, you seem to be in a better place. Are you still in a good place?
Yes. Yep. I was actually just DMing with her because she's traveling right now to France. So we're in a great place and it's so refreshing. And it's like, it's just nice. Like, I enjoy Danielle. Like, she makes me laugh. You know, we're so different, but we're so much alike. It's just, it's very nice. It's very nice.
Now, some fans are saying that, you know, she's playing both sides. How is that different than from Jen?
So Danielle, and this is the difference here, right? Is like what I kind of explained to you a little while ago is Danielle is not sitting here like talking badly about Teresa to me and then going and hanging out with her. Like, that's not what's happening. So I don't happen to really think she's playing both sides. I could see why people would think that. But Danielle's a straight shooter. Like, she's not going to sit here and pretend. I mean, you guys see her and you see how she is. So she felt some type of way. I actually just heard an interview that she said that she did have an issue with Teresa that she wanted to talk about. Like, she's very forthcoming in that way. So I don't really think she's playing both sides.
Okay. No, I did recently saw that she hasn't talked to Teresa. So obviously something happened with that. Obviously something happened between her and Jen. We've heard a lot of rumors about this alleged altercation. Just tell me this, because I know we can't give too much away. Were you shocked when whatever went down went down?
No. Because the levels of low are at an all-time high. It is baffling to me. I don't understand it, but it wasn't shocking to me because there's nothing that's off limits here. Anything to prove a point, anything to make someone else look bad, like, we're going to take the shots. And I'm talking about Jen's actions, not Danielle's. In my opinion, and I have yet to see it, from what I hear, Danielle was defending herself. She was on the receiving end.
It does seem like this season things are going to go real low, right? People are going to be saying a lot of things. And, you know, let's just address the elephant in the room, which is Teresa Giudice. And we see in the first episode, you have a confrontation with her, but she also has an issue with your husband. You're rolling your eyes. Tell me how you're feeling about that now, watching that episode back.
What does my husband have to do with any of this? That's what I'm thinking. And now people are asking me, why is John getting involved? Why do you think he's getting involved? Would you sit there and not defend yourself? It just feels very contrived and calculated to go after the men. It's like very copy and paste. Like, if you look at the history, right? This is what I was told, to look at the history. If you look at the history of her behavior, you know, we go after Evan, we're going after Joe. Like, it's very familiar feeling. And I think that's purpose. I think that's on purpose. And it's done to make him look bad in the defense of himself. And I will have his back until the death. And he's not ashamed of anything that he's been through, and he's willing to talk about it. But unfortunately, that opportunity was taken away from him. Thank you, Teresa.
I don't know if you caught this, but in this past episode, when she was talking with Jen, she did, you know, kind of backpedal a little bit and was like, no, he is a great husband. He's a great father. Like, this was in the past. Did hearing any of that change your opinion whatsoever?
No, actually, it validated it, because it validated the manipulation that is Teresa Giudice and how she tries to manipulate her fans and manipulate the viewers to see certain things. So now in our minds, it's like, oh, but she said such nice things about him. No. If you think those things to be true, then why did you say those other things about him? It's manipulation and it's gaslighting and it's all toxic behavior that no one should be subject to.
And how does John feel about being involved?
This wasn't on our bingo card for season 14. You know, you got to roll with the punches as they come. And he's not going to back down. He's worked really hard to accomplish what he's accomplished in his life. He's built a beautiful life for himself. We have a beautiful family, and he's proud of himself, and I'm proud of him too. So, you know, at this point, he didn't really have an option, but I take it over. I take the lead.
Okay. Because I was going to say too, you know, sometimes we have seen in the past of reality TV shows, this can affect a marriage. But yeah, you guys are.
I think when you're going through it, it didn't necessarily affect our marriage, but it really just made our communication that much more important. If anything, I actually think it did the opposite, because it gave me the opportunity to feel like I was standing up for my husband and I was having his back, and it has not affected us at all. Like, and that is my number one priority across anything, is my marriage and my kids. Like, number one, no questions asked.
The photos that have been circulating online right now, his IMBD photos, are so good. They're so fun.
Someone just asked me about this, and I literally had no idea what they were talking about. But I need you guys to know, like, this was not a photo shoot for IMDb. Like, this is so funny. He was working with a publicist. This is so funny. He was working with a publicist that wanted him to have headshots. And there was, like, obviously a photographer and a stylist on set. So I just think they, like, were having fun and, like, got carried away. Like, do you guys really think we're doing IMDb photo shoots here? Like, we have plenty of shit to do with our time. Thank you very much.
Okay, set the record straight. Love that. No, I saw them. I'm like, he looks great. This is fun. Like, go after it. Yeah.
Haters gonna hate. Haters gonna hate.
Back to the Teresa of it all, and then I swear we'll get to happier topics.
It's all good.
Is there a world, though, where you and Teresa bury the hatchet and you move forward?
No. I just don't think so. I just don't think it's possible. And I think in this group of women, I think that is truthfully her greatest downfall, is that it's not like, oh, I didn't like your outfit, like little, like, stupid things. It's so deep. Like, why do you have to go? Like, your hits are too hard. You can't come back from these things. Like, your husband cannot be calling one of our children at work, threatening him, and then think that, like, we're gonna kumbaya. Like, that's not how this works. So there's a consistent denominator here, and it's not me, it's not Margaret, it's not Melissa.
This is kind of a complicated question, but, like, why do you think Teresa is acting this way?
Why do you think Teresa's acting this way? Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Got it. You know, this season, and we talked about this in the beginning of the interview, you know, the two sides and how complicated or maybe not so complicated it was to filming. But as a fan, it's like, how do we move forward? What do you think the solution should be for next season?
I really don't have those answers. I don't know. I don't know what reunion looks like. I don't know. I can't even project. Like, there's not even like a projection or a prediction in my mind, because we are so broken. Really, it's so broken. Like, the glass is so shattered and it feels unrepairable. Is that a word?
Yeah. Unrepairable works. I know. I mean, we recently talked to Margaret, and she basically said, just don't have Teresa come back and it will be fine.
I mean, I agree 100%. I just think that there's so much toxicity, and it's a learned behavior, right? Like, you don't come into this, most people, unless you're Monica from Salt Lake City, and have that type of toxicity, which I actually happens like Monica, by the way. It's a very different thing here. But I just think it's a learned behavior, and there is more than one player that's got to be removed from the game. And I really think there needs to be a reevaluation of the future of the show.
Because did you guys have, I mean, there had to have been some fun this season, right?
We definitely had fun. there was glimmers.
A little glimmers of fun.
There were glimmers. It was a bummer about our cash trip. We were really looking forward to that. And that's really,
oh yeah, what happened with that?
We're supposed to go to the Berkshires, and literally bags are packed, outfits are picked out, babysitters scheduled, meals are prepped in the fridge. And I get a call from production. They're like, the house burned down that you're supposed to stay at. I'm like, lies. Like, you're lying. There's no way. Like, now I'm like thinking like, oh my God, I have all these clothes. Like, what am I going to do with all this stuff? So he's like, yeah, like, we don't know what we're going to do, but like, you're definitely not going to that house. So like, we're going to have to delay it, but like, we don't know what's going to happen. I believe that's what happened. Like, they said they were going to delay it for a second. And I'm like, we just like, it's a bad omen. It's a, prediction of what's to come. Like, it's better off.